In 1665, plague arrived in a small English village, and the people of that village faced an impossible choice: leave or stay. The village was Eyam in Derbyshire. The outbreak began after plague-infected cloth arrived in the village. As the disease spread, the people of Eyam made a decision that would become one of the most famous stories of the Great Plague. They isolated themselves. The purpose was simple: stop the infection from spreading to neighboring communities. But isolation came at an enormous human cost. People became sick, families lost loved ones, and the villagers had to live with the knowledge that leaving could potentially carry the disease beyond Eyam. The village became surrounded by fear, but also by acts of extraordinary endurance. People who became infected were cared for, the dead had to be buried, and ordinary life continued under extraordinary circumstances. The plague did not spare the wealthy or the poor. It did not care about status. And in Eyam, the entire community was living with the same threat. The story has sometimes been romanticized over the centuries, but behind the legend were real people dealing with disease, grief, and uncertainty. We know the broader outbreak was devastating. In London alone, the Great Plague of 1665 killed tens of thousands of people. The National Archives records that deaths peaked in September, when more than 7,000 Londoners died in a single week. And while many people who could afford to leave London did so, the people of Eyam chose a different path. They stayed. Their decision has become one of the most famous examples of voluntary isolation in English history. But perhaps the most powerful part of the story isn't the legend. It's the human reality. Imagine knowing that leaving your village could put another community at risk. Imagine watching neighbors become sick. Imagine hearing church bells for the dead, while knowing the next name could be someone you love. This was England in 1665. No modern medicine, no antibiotics, no understanding of bacteria. Only fear, experience, and the desperate hope that isolation might protect those beyond the village. Eyam survived, but many of its people did not. And their story remains a reminder that history isn't only about kings, armies, and battles. Sometimes history is a village facing an invisible enemy and making a decision that would echo for centuries. This is Echoes of England. Forgotten people, forgotten places, real stories from England's past. And sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones that happen far away from